I want to talk about high standards today. High standards are great. And I mean that because high standards make us who we are, and we get the best results when our standards are high. However, sometimes those high standards are exactly what are holding us back from achieving anything. Because when we are perfectionists and we start looking to be perfect in everything that we do, and we won't do it unless it's good enough, then basically what happens is we don't do anything. Or we keep procrastinating, we keep stalling, and we don't get into it because we're afraid that it's maybe not at the highest standard that we expect from ourselves. The thing is, we have to understand that these high standards and the perfectionism that comes with it are basically structures within our minds. And we are locking onto these structures, locking onto these thoughts of how we should be, and God help us if we're not according to our standards, which sometimes are even too high for us and anybody else. High standards are great. If you have high standards in your life and you really, really expect those standards from yourself, even before you expect them from others, that's fine. And it will bring you a lot of success in many areas. However, those high standards, when they come into conflict with reality, as they always will cause a lot of mental tension and emotional stress. So what I suggest is, be aware of how your mind works. Be aware of when you're overthinking things and thinking that your standards are not high enough and that your actions are not matching your standards. Be aware when you start going into perfectionist mode. And the moment you catch yourself going into perfectionist mode, say to yourself, hey, screw this. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to get messy. I'm going to fail. You know what? It's not going to be the best, but I'm going to do it. And you know what? Even if it's not good now, I'll continue doing it and I'll make it better in the future. I'll give you a personal example of myself. When I started doing social media 4 years ago, I had no clue what social media was at all. I had no idea, really. And I was totally against social media in those days. But that's another story. I didn't know how to film. I didn't know I didn't know anything, in other words. I didn't even know the platforms. And I thought that social media basically was some sort of big billboard or advertising space in which everybody talks about themselves and how great they are, whatever they want to sell. I learned that things are different. And on the way, I also learned how to do things better. So I learned how to make movies. I learned how to edit. I learned how to use audio. I learned 10 million different things. But one thing, I didn't let it stop me at the beginning because I wanted everything to be perfect. I knew that I had to start. And at the beginning, I picked up my phone and I made movies from my phone. And when I look back at those movies today, they're not great quality movies. I look at them with a smile, but you know what? I'm proud of them. And you know why I'm proud of them? Because I did it. Because I made them. Because I was willing to be vulnerable. Because I was willing to be messy. And not to think, I'm this perfect guy and I've done everything in my life so great. So maybe we can all learn from that. From my own personal experience. It's okay to screw up. It's okay to be messy. And things don't have to be perfect. That doesn't mean not to try your best. Believe me, I believe in trying your best. But it doesn't mean not to do it because it won't be good enough. So go ahead. Get messy. Go ahead. Fail. But remember, the main thing is to do it.